Astralis bounced back in emphatic style. This man on your screen right here carried them through an amazing victory, 16-6 on train bins. It looks like the Vice is fired up, and we move over to Overpass. And to see whether this one concludes in a victory for Astralis or North. The analysts seem to think it's with Astralis. Where do you sit right now?
Agreed. I think they're one, if not the best team on Overpass in the world.
Yes.
So I think North aren't a bad Overpass team. Definitely not. They have a chance, but 99 out of 100 times I go Astralis here.
Well, I think you might be right, especially after carrying that momentum on train. They looked so special there. This looked like they had contained North completely, shut down whatever mojo they had on Dust 2. They weren't the same aggressive team. They looked more rattled and caged on the B bomb side, especially couldn't contain Astralis whatsoever. And for now, the huddles conclude. Astralis will sit down. They know they have the advantage going into this one. We haven't seen a ton of North in this complexion on Overpass, and we'll see whether they can go toe-to-toe with the best. I guess the one thing they have in their favor is the unknown quantity and having lots of information on Astralis. It's a map they play very commonly, and we'll see who gets the most important pistol round of them all here to kick off the third map of a grand final. So you can see everyone getting themselves ready. Every single player here Danish. Don't think anyone would have guessed that going in, so we had so many sensational rosters here. Astralis were a lock-in, I think, for the final in most people's books, but we expected the likes of FaZe, maybe MIBR, but North have done a great job to get here. Ladies and gentlemen, for one final time, make some noise! North! Astralis go into the battlefield one final time. Who will come out on top? This pistol will be indicative of which way it's going to go. We are going to see aggression from Kiabi. No shots landing just yet. They've got a CZ and an HE for MSL, but no defuse kit available.
Speculative shots at best, same can be said for AZ. Holding the close angle allows him to take a few shots and just back away. MSL with his lone nade could be called upon. Kirby, pretty impressive that he even got one kill. There were so many terrorists funneling their way through on the bathrooms. They have connector controller about to get tested. Valda's going to try and go out some fire. Here comes the CZ. Nade bouncing off connector walls, but not going to be claiming kills. It's a 3-on-2 in favor of Astralis, and they have control of the bomb.
Fast and aggressive pistol. That's what we like. And now Glaive, low HP. Mage is 65. They've still got 2 smokes, and the majority of their flashbangs here, Vince. The map is open for them. And AZ and Nico, we talked about this before, going to try and stay nearby each other. Nico just going to be towards heaven of the B bomb site with quick rotation and back AZ up, and vice versa if they go towards B. So they're in good positions here, and AZ has been an absolute beast with the USP in this particular tournament. He has looked so good with it. Nico, no slouch of pistols either. We'll see who comes out on top. For now, it will be an A-side approach from Astralis. Are they going to use the smokes early? Looks like they will, and AZ needs to back up right now.
I think AZ was even thinking about going towards B until he heard the smokes bouncing. So he's all that remains on A. And now Nico has the arduous task of trying to retake what was once North. He's going to be coming up from the underground area with his USP. Doesn't have a kit, only a pistol. Is at least healthy. If he can tee off with his first kill, this could get interesting. We definitely expect Astralis to just close it out, shut it in his face. And especially as now they know exactly where he is. They've got a triple stack, all looking towards his angle of dumpster, and down he will go. Astralis claim first blood.
Just 3 kills for him in that particular round. He really is fired up. I'm keeping my POV on him right now. He's doing some great stuff here with the Glock, aggressive, pushing through, not letting anyone leave the situation. You can see them trying to scuttle away there as he completely applies the pressure towards the A side to finish things off. That kill really secured the round. That was AZ, like we said. He's been so impressive with the pistols in this tournament. He gets nothing done, and there is no force buy from North. Remember, the upgraded pistols, yes, but they don't have armor. Only Kiabi has purchased that, so it means he can go for these 1-digs. There's a long-range map, plenty of opportunities for that, but it'll be AZ going down quickly. And that's perfect for Astralis. We've discussed this in depth. Once you get the opening pick in these sort of rounds, you don't have to overcommit. You don't have to go right towards that area. Wait for the reactions, hold the flanks, and stay together using the buddy system.
Definitely could use a few more buddies though, as North are hemorrhaging kills and damage. Valda's been tagged one too many times. He has to get out of there, but Dupree long range, gonna put the MAC-10 to use with the headshot. Getting some money in the bank. Astralis looking good to convert their second round. There are a couple more banana peels in the form of MSL, Nico, and Kirby. But MSL has just been spotted in connector. Going to be joined by Kirby in the bathrooms. He is a monster with a Desert Eagle. One of the best plays in his career was with this very weapon. Let's see if he can go on better. This would be one hell of a time to bust it out, but he's been smoked off. It's asking a lot for him to push through. Meanwhile, NiKo's making a move up on the backside. Bomb still hasn't been planted. Astralis taking their sweet time.
They really are. It's getting a little bit problematic here. 30 seconds remaining. NiKo poised to try and take a couple of them down here, but dupreeh gets the backstab in. They're actually heading towards the B bomb site now. Good call from Astralis coming through. Still plenty of time to get that bomb planted, but still, MSL and KRB now both have UMPs. A flashbang. MSL with no armor. There's still a fighting chance in this one, but maybe not now. Shots through the smoke with the AK-47 sends MSL packing as he goes down to 15 HP.
Fortunate that he actually did go packing because that grenade had damage written all over it, and he can't afford to take too much of it. Kirby feels the same way. He's piecing out. He's got a UMP and a deagle. He can drop one of those across to his teammates in the next round. It's worth saving. Astralis will get their second round on the board.
Certainly will, Vince. Certainly will. It was a little bit more taxing than they would have liked, but 2-0, job's done. They give 3 kills away, and North will be full eco going to the next round. KRB is going to save the UMP and body armor by the looks of things, so that's a great asset for him going forward to farm a little bit more cash and pay up his debts for the armor invested in round number 2 there. But overall, North will be preparing for round number 4. This should be a bit more of a gimme for Astralis here. They won't have to work too hard, maybe just a contact B play, something like that, get it done with, but so far, so good. As predicted, Astralis have the lead here on Overpass. Much needed pistol here as we enter the next round. Nothing really going to be purchased by North. They can maybe get a P250. Bowder's got a deagle, but I expect this to be very similar results with slightly less kills for North going into round 3 up.
Certainly agree. Kirby spotted. It's an angle that teams like Astralis will know all too well, may implement themselves when the roles are reversed. The boost hasn't really yielded anything. Kirby is going to hold on to the UMP. MSL takes that grenade in the pocket. 87 health disintegrates in the blink of an eye. And alongside that, probably getting over this round. Zipek's going to try and wildly spray through the short walls. No one is there for North. Just a lonely AZ on A by his lonesome. As North have gambled on the B stack. And this gamble, unlikely to yield really anything at all. So Astralis should be moving towards a 3-0. Devices spotted a player, which will be AZ, just peeking on long. It's slow, it's steady, but it's effective and it's efficient.
It's working out nicely so far. Sure, it's slow-paced, but they're doing damage. Suffocating the CTs on the side, pushing them back with the smokes, the Molotov, and things coming through. It won't be as clean as they would like to initially get on the side, but that's absolutely fine. It will be dupreeh to take down AZ. That should be round concluded. You can see the A side completely open, and all the CTs actually heading towards a connector, towards T-spawn. So maybe head long and try and get some exit kills here, potentially hide behind the rocks. It's quite a common approach, but I can see Glaive in the bathrooms, ready and waiting for this particular approach.
And he's going to peek up at the right place at the right time. Fighting a duel against a deagle at that kind of range, not the greatest of ideas. So he's going to get dupreeh to come in and land the one tap. Very nicely done. In terms of the round, of course, doesn't really change a great deal, but it's going to do the world of good for his confidence and how he's feeling. Astralis will take a 3-0 though. Zipex has been dinked down as Kirby falls by the wayside. There's not much to report here, really, Henry. I mean, a lot of spaces off this next round, the next round.
Well, the only thing I really can report is Astralis keep 5 players alive, as predicted, and it means they've got a great chance of a bonus round here. And what the bonus round means to any viewers is coming for the grand final here. It means when you take your lesser weaponry from your anti-eco rounds and you manage to bring these SMGs, the MAC-10, the UMP, and you know there's a distinct lack of money on the other side. They might not have helmets, and indeed that is the case. NiKo and MSL without helmets here can be very susceptible to the run and gun formations the UMP and the MAC-10 can take, and I would assume Astralis will take a very quick round here. You don't want to be running defaults when you've got these sort of less powered SMGs going forward. You want to make sure that you're going in as a wolf pack and trying to bully your way into bomb sites. You want to do something quick, fast, and unpredictable. That's normally the approach in what we call these bonus rounds. MSL has got the AWP. He will be having the best spawn possible for the B bomb site, actually. So he might go for a quick pick towards Monster Tunnel, for example. We'll see whether he wants to do that. Actually just holds up towards Heaven and predicting a fast play here, looking towards that area. Good grenade towards a playground. That should do some damage. And slightly towards Device, but that's about it. As we'll see a slower approach from Astralis here. Not going to be going for the straight-up push towards a bomb site here. Heavy focus from the CTs towards B with 3 players patrolling that area right now. MSL starts to fall back towards the A site with the AWP.
With Kirby's nade, though, that is definitely going to give Astralis pause for thought. For all they know, they'll actually push 2 players towards Fountain and Balloons. They now realize that's not the case. So it does buy up North a little bit of time. They still have 4 smokes to deploy and implement, but it's a lack of kits that could become an issue as this round meanders until its climax. Now we're going to be finding Nico, Valda, and AZ. A triple threat stack on the B site. Nico watching from the barrels as a Molotov down. It's going to be very close, but he just about survives. They don't have any HEs to get rid of him either. And with the smoke down on the barrels, they can't afford to toss any Molotovs across there. So they've done a good job of holding the line on the B site. They're going to force Astralis back into connector. And they're now going to recuperate, Henry, and look to try and force their will on A side.
Nice glaive going down. That's both the SMGs dropped to this point. MSL hits the effect. It's looking very convincing for North. Device will fight back best he can. It's now a 4 versus 2. Device and Magus left with a very difficult and tall order as they have to push together now. They have got smokes and flashbangs, but MSL does spot one. Doesn't connect the shot, but that one certainly does. Nice snappy reaction there to find Device, and now Magus just going to try and cause financial damage. Nice sounds strange if he wants to die at this point, so he gets the money. If he survives past the round time itself, no bomb planted, of course, he'll get no cash. So 3-1. Astralis still with plenty of cash to buy themselves. Like we said, that's a bonus round. It's difficult to really justify that as a gun round in itself, because now Device presumably brings out the AWP for the first time, and we'll see what he can get done. This is where the game really begins. As the timeout comes through, Device has called it. He hasn't bought the AWP just yet, but he has got $6,200, meaning he can get the AWP, armor, a couple of grenades, and potentially try and challenge MSL, who's had a little bit too easy on Overpass so far. And now, as Nemesis will be ready to hunt him down, and presumably most of the battles will happen towards middle. You'll see smokes towards the benches, the party area, CT's trying to get the better towards the T-steps, but the best AWPers will always be mobile and change their approach every single round, Vince.
It's all about the unpredictability. And to be fair, Northland does too with just that. MSL was never locked down, was always a step ahead of Astralis, and now they have a chance to repeat the performance. Short train, a bit of a dud, back of their minds. As North look to play pretty aggressive early on onto Balloons. MSL's going to be joined by Kirby, who is the player that ran in with a grenade in the round prior. Going to get the close angle just to make sure that MSL has a bit of cover. That smoke, though, again, there's a sell-by date on this position. Once that smoke clears, MSL's going to have to start to think about his left-hand side. And Astralis are making movements through on playground. MSL now going to go for that big, but herein lays the issue. He's now very much isolated, but it's going to be a bait for Kirby. If Kirby can get a kill or two, then this round bodes very well for North, and he's done just that. And a nice juicy bonus on top. The bomb's been dropped out on a Fountain. They have to come back and salvage that.
That's absolutely true, Vince. That really does slow them down. Dupree continues his campaign towards long, though, but MSL reads it well. Dodges the flashbang, presumably nails that shot, but it's Dupree that rattles him on the side. Crisp AK shot equals things to a 4-on-4, and now AZ. He'll take over responsibility towards long and nails the shot this time, sends Dupree packing, and that might push Astralis back towards the B side. 2 CTs waiting for them on the other side.
And because the smoke landed on long, AZ wanted to switch to the M4, gives him the spray ability through the smoke. Nicely done, but it's not going to be him that has to hold the fort. It's going to be Nico. He's done a solid job thus far. Takes a whole bunch of damage, but there is Valda again with the M4. And North will hold on for dear life and pick up their second round.
Well, we've got a map on our hands now, Vince. North seem competitive here. They're ready to hold off whatever Astralis can throw at them. And like you said, it was MSL the start. Sure, he looked compromised and had to fall back, but you were spot on. He was just baiting Kiabi in at that point. The idea is the AWPer, normally alone in those positions, Kiabi takes the bomb down, and whatever approach they wanted to take, they had to put it right and put a stop on it right away, because at that point they have to come back, get the bomb, retrieve it. Dupree didn't fall back with his teammates. He went down, and now it's the eco for Astralis. A quick one towards the B site, and they are getting melted by the utility. Nico with double nade kill. Don't see those every day. And Device will be the last player remaining. B rush, B split, whatever you want to call it. Completely shut down. They get one kill, and Device hoping that a reacting CT player be caught in the connector, but no one to be seen. A chance, though, just to discuss their options for the next round. Lost bonus the third stage into the next. They're going to have $2,400 per player on top of the 2K they have right now, so it shouldn't be an issue to buy. I don't think Device will have the AWP unless Dupree really wants to drop him one and sacrifice pretty much everything for himself. He's got $5,300. 3-3 are all tied up. That's 3 in a row for North, starting to establish their own economy. Remember, they don't need the AWP, but Kiabi has purchased one. He'll give it to MSL. And do they want to change things up at all and maybe go for a hyper-aggressive round, which is very possible on the CT side. You can send that open towards connector and challenge at the start. We didn't see much adaptive play from their CT side of Train, and that is uncharacteristic for this tournament. I want to see them find their confidence again in that department.
Looks like more of the same here, Henry. Again, aggressive onto Fountain. Flashbang, though, will keep them at bay. And you nailed it. One of the reasons I love this map so much is it does afford the CTs to play aggressive, to take the fight to the Ts. Don't have to feel claustrophobic or choked out. B site's also another place you can push on the likes of Short with a flashbang alongside it. For the time being, though, North are just going to hold on. Here comes AZ with that very peak, with the flashbang alongside him. Did catch a bit of information, but they don't have anyone to connect this, so it doesn't really matter. That information's already not too valuable. Lots of damage being done, though. North are taking a bucket load through the walls. 60 for Valda, 56 for Nico. You've got to be careful.
We've got a little bit quiet at this point. The default continues for Astralis. They are triangulating around the B bomb site here. Smoke's deployed. They've got some of the best executions towards this side of the map in the game. Is that smoke missed, though? Pretty sure that one should be landing in heaven, as the CTs now have full vision in that particular area. They won't be checking out AZ's position as well. They'll assume that's smoked up. That's a big problem. As Nico looks to spray them down, we'll get nothing.
Oh, Valda's gone down too. He could have been the linchpin, but AZ, he's teeing off kills. Finally, going to stop the bloodshed courtesy of running out of ammunition. Did a lot of damage to Dupree, but he's going to come out second best. Molly thrown onto the site, going to try and funnel away the Ts and allow MSL to make some inroads alongside Kiabi, with MSL being destroyed. Kiabi now 1 on 3. They don't know exactly where he is, but now I think they've just spotted him, and therefore he may have to think about just running away. Going to use the molly to see if he can force the hand of one of the Ts to push him on short fight. Taking damage through the wall. The round's done. Astralis will regain the lead after losing 3 in a row. The only question to be answered is, will Kiabi hold on to his M4? And it does seem like the answer is going to be yes.
Kiabi can't do anything about it, and that missed smoke almost did come back to Horn Astralis there. We saw AZ Vince get 2 frags. You can see they just weren't having their crosses in that position, because the execution, that's supposed to be under lock and key. That's smoked off, not supposed to be any sort of problem whatsoever, but still they win the round, and that's the most important thing. Money's still okay for North. They'll still take a timeout. Seen plenty of those, and it makes a lot of sense here. It's a Danish derby, lots of mind games to be played. They know each other inside out. Glaive and MSL trying to outsmart each other. They're both the in-game leaders of their respective teams. As a Device will get the AWP out once again, he had to drop a UMP for his teammate Glaive. Money's not great on their side. It's the same story for North as well. This is why we take the pause, because they know the gravity of the situation if this one falls apart. And Astralis give this one up with no bomb plant coming down, they could be in a lot of trouble, and North could start to pull away. North, though, still trail 3-4. MSL the AWP. We haven't seen much adaptation. We have seen him try towards middle. I'd like to see him get towards maybe that connector position or chain things up and get it towards the B site. But for now, this is different. He will head towards long, presumably boosted up on the flower bed. And it's not the classic boost. He's actually be on top of a player's head. And Astralis start their campaign towards B. Refine those boost positions. Nothing to be seen. The nades coming through. Didn't do a ton of damage towards Magisk. But now they have water control as they head towards shore.
You can count himself lucky, because it did seem like he was going to take a lot more for a moment there, Magisk, which should have put him already on the back foot. Feels like this certainly is one of those first key points in this final map. A lot rests on it. If North were to concede, they're in serious trouble if this CT side getting out of control. And Astralis know it, going to be tossing in the grenade. Now Nico's been there time and time again. It is a little bit telegraphed, and he's just got wrecked off those nades.
Yeah, he really has. They're unlucky not to even get a kill there. If they were slightly deeper the grenades, they would have taken him down, but that's been a calling card of theirs on Overpass for a while. They really did show how powerful HG grenades can be in CSGO. Before, they weren't really a conversation topic at all, but Astralis have showed us, especially on Inferno, how powerful they can be. And when you're the best, a lot of teams will follow soon. It's becoming part of the meta now to have triple nade stacks, and North have certainly demonstrated that throughout this tournament.
It's going to give Nico some questions later on as he gets smoked to health. But he is still alive. That could focus some attention towards him, allowing AZ to just go ham. Valda is also in prime position. 18 seconds left. They need a hero. They need a pioneer to pinch that onto the site with, and they're going to get it in the form of dupreeh. Again, the entry king for Astralis will strike in a form of the bomb plant, and Zipex is going to lay down MSL. Kirby, not for the first time, has to try and walk over. The destruction of B site. And dupreeh will silence him too. Excellent work, dupreeh. Pristine entry fragging.
Yeah, that was so crisp by him. Just completely decimates the site upon arrival. It got a bit dicey there. The positions are actually quite decent from North, but as you can see, dupreeh, no problem whatsoever. You can see the tracers of Valda on the ramp and manages to have a real nice shot here to shut down any sort of potential of the clutch from Kiabi there. We did say the money was starting to become a problem for both teams, but Astralis with a nice clean round there. They're reading the situation well. Mages picks up the MAC-10, knowing they won't have armor, potentially just pistols, and he can have a lot of fun this round, farm some cash, and sends North packing around number 9. Should be 6-3 here. They haven't got much more than some PT-50s and 1 deagle.
That's a rough molly for Valda to deal with. Landed by his feet, nothing to extinguish. Onto the open, Magisk will take that all day long, looking for more. Not going to get it, but it's only a MAC-10 that drops. No great use for it for North in the next round, and to make matters worse, they've lost AZ. So Astralis on the brink of taking a 6-3 lead. And North being into a full buy. Will be a healthy full buy, but they're running out of rounds at this stage. dupreeh with a plant, going to funnel the 2 remaining CTs up onto Bank and the dumpster respectively. The latter being smoked off. The former about to have dupreeh's presence there. And we've already seen what his entrying's like, so he's always going to get the upper hand onto a weakened, vulnerable MSL. And finishes off with a 2K. And 6-3 will be the score, but here come North with another buy.
They certainly will. Astralis managing to have a nice clean round there. We'll see whether North will bring out the AWP once again. We'll look at the frag charts while we're here. MSL 6 and 7, dupreeh 11 and 4. Device actually 2 and 5, so the AWP's not having a massive amount of impact here so far as we predicted, and now maybe that's why Astralis have opted for a 5 AK setup here. Same story for North. It's going to be going toe-to-toe with the rifles here, and it looks like another B split coming through. Mages patrolling the connector very quickly, going to be opening the door, looking for any sort of damage he can spam, but it actually gives his own damage away as the response shot come through, and he goes down to 48 HP. Valda looking to challenge here towards short, but the flashbang's just too difficult to deal with.
That flashbang was absolutely perfect. And it will get them a second kill, which will be claimed onto Nico. AZ, they need a hero. He needs to bring a storm behind him. And Device is making a move through long, but in the meanwhile, Kirby is the only player to strike before he is bested. And they've kept AZ at bay. Now that they've got Device on A, they know it's clear, they can transition the bomb across, they can get the easy round. And although AZ's going for the rotation, he's going to get cut off by Device. Excellent flank.
Absolutely. He spotted it about 10 seconds before he really started to make his way towards long. I saw him kind of making his way through long, so that makes a lot of sense. If they can guarantee that A's clear, why even challenge a player like AZ, who's showing some career best form, just leaving to it and B, fall back with the bomb. There's still plenty of time as dupreeh continues to apply the pressure. That's his 14th frag after 10 rounds. He's doing a great job. Force him down to an eco once again. Astralis are in cruise control right now. This is what we've come to expect from them on the T side, especially of Overpass. North, not specialist on this map. They can play player, but I've never really been that convinced. I was hoping to see a bit more on their CT side in terms of adaptation and those creative plays we saw yesterday on train, but it seems like they're playing quite a standard game here. The B bomb side looks strong, but the flashbangs and the nades and the preset utility in general from Astralis just seems to be completely devouring them right now.
Magus is going to wait for that flashbang to go in. A little bit off, so he takes the front of it. Will go down to the hands of MSL, who's done a lot of damage, to be fair, with him with the USP. Here comes AZ, chipping away at 2-on-3. This is starting to get a bit sketchy for Astralis, especially as Nico also has a Desert Eagle, and he's been consistently solid with it. AZ down to 9. dupreeh, Device, Zipex, hungering for an extra kill, hungering for an extra round. And they will find it very shortly, I'm sure. AZ down to 7, a little bit more chip. Final player to fall, Astralis 8-3 to the good.
They really are. Money starting to stabilize once again. The maximum loss bonus coming in if you lose 5 rounds in a row. In competitive Counter-Strike, you are gifted $3,400 per player as the rounds swing by. All power from MSL once again, but I think Device is just more than happy to stay on the rifles right now. Not having the biggest amount of impact, but his teammate dupreeh, that double D combo is certainly working out as he's taking the majority of the frags here. And we'll get into the next round. MSL still top of middle by the steps, using the smoke at the very start to block some vision, looking towards a playground, but this could be a contact play. I can see a terrorist making his way towards B. That is going to be dupreeh once again. He's helping himself to the bomb site right now, looking to open things up.
15-5, the bulk of them have been entries, flicking across. Nico loses his head, and dupreeh is looking like the executioner. Can he get any more? Going to be forcing out an extra player in the form of Valdo, who gets grenaded just behind him. But now his teammates are falling around him, so dupreeh has to back out of there. Solid hold by North. MSL is watching Connector. This is an area they haven't really had control over so far.
Bit of a stalemate here. Mages waiting for MSL. MSL waiting for Mages, but they're coming towards top of middle, so MSL needs to be very careful here. They're actually choosing to go towards long, and MSL's patience looks like he might be rewarded. He's not sure, but there it is. Great shot by him. Holds his nerve, and he falls back, and he might even be there in time for them to come out of long.
This call is mammoth by MSL, who manhandles Glaive and only has one more to go. It's going to be dupreeh, though, who is in lights-out form. 30 seconds, has control of the bomb, so North can't take anything for granted at this stage. dupreeh can hear the footsteps, the jumping up and down of MSL. Needs to channel his inner gladiator, unsheath the Gladius, and see if he can get some damage done here as he backs away. Going to be relocating, I'm sure, into bathrooms. As the AK-47, as his trusty primary now. Still making a move around the side. The 2 CTs, they don't have a smoke. dupreeh, if he peeks up right now, could have this round under wraps. They still haven't got down on it just yet. dupreeh lurking round the shadows of bathroom. They're still not going for it, but finally they have got the full defuse in effect, and you can understand why dupreeh doesn't peek out there. He has to take a risk.
He's hoping that they're trying to fake him out and make him peek at that point. He's got low HP. As soon as he exposes himself, he likely goes down, hoping to get one more fake defuse out of them. That would have been potentially enough to go for it at that point, really get them uncomfortable. But MSL, great job again with the AWP. He really has looked like a different player this tournament. We've never seen him pick up the AWP until now, really, and it's been remarkable. Great shots and good awareness, and you can see why he wants to be in that position. 8-4 though. North still had a lot of work to do here. It was still an expensive round for them, only 2 players surviving. Can't afford a reset here again. Smoke in, Glaive will slam speculative shots towards the barrel's position, but wallbangs come through. It's Mages that tries to start the wallbang again and gets punished once more.
North bouncing back was looking devastating for them. And once again, Nico on the barrels. Molotov extinguished, but now he can't quite see down to dupreeh, who's looking for more. Not going to happen. Valdo and Kirby going to keep this ship afloat for the time being. Has to be mentioned though, Henry, already 8 rounds in the T half of Overpass is a solid half, whatever happens from here on out.
Absolutely, that's a win already. Anything at this point is a bonus, and it's just North who are recovering at this point. So they're looking likely to win this round though, but Glaive and Zipex have got plenty of money. They can definitely try and justify some picks here to sabotage the money of North. They get absolutely nothing done. I would say Device wins out the AWP now, just to mix things up a little bit more. MSL is having a bit too much of a free run with that particular weapon. As we get into round number 14, the closing sectors of the grand final starting to come in here. If you are just joining us, it was 16-1 on Dust 2 in favor of North to kick things off. We thought Astralis were done for. They didn't wake up into the grand final. We went on to North's map pick of Train. All of a sudden, they came to life. They shut down the momentum and actually managed to win 16-6. They are considered the #1 team in the world for a reason. They have tenacity. They are able to shake off defeats, and they've been here many times before. At one point, considered chokers, people who couldn't handle the grand final, but at this point, they are anything but that. Absolute professionals, and are looking on course right now, Vince, to actually take this final map. They're, like you said, on the T side. This is a very promising start for them.
Well, it certainly is, and it could get a whole lot better if North can't claim a third round in a row. Could be a 10-5 half, in which case I'd say Astralis already have 1 foot over the finish line of the DreamHack Master Stockholm. Dupree. Oh, that smoke is actually too far gone. He's going to go in for the second one. So aggressive. Loads of nades being put down on short, though. Carpet bombing Major Scout the round.
It's so cool to watch them, isn't it? You can see both of these teams trying to shut each other down. Similar approaches there. Who can extinguish what? Who can flush the opposition out and cause as much damage with the HEs? It's great to see two very tactical teams square off as Device waits for the flank from Kiabi. He will get it, but MSL, same position, gets Glaive once again. He'll steal away the man advantage. Device is just shying away from the AWP. This is uncharacteristic for him.
Maybe that's down to a bit of lack of form here on Overpass, favoring the rifles instead. And MSL is just going to town. He wants to get this as close as comfortable to getting that 7 rounds at the halftime. Zipex may have something to say about it, but I have to feel like he is going to be silenced. The master of clutches, but this should be too far gone. Does have the bomb, does have a bit of wiggle room back towards connector, but it's a 2-2 stack. Wherever he goes, he's outnumbered. Wherever he goes, he's outgunned. And time itself is becoming an adversary that he probably can't deal with. There's MSL, gonna get his 4th of the round.
Yeah, he really is running away with his sniping responsibilities for both teams here, it seems. Dupree has got 17 kills, but Device 6 and 8 at the very bottom of the Astralis frag count here. He's gone absent, but still, like we said, it's not a huge deal. They still have a very good half already in the bag here. T-side 8 rounds. I would say this is mainly their pick more than North's. And we go into the final round. Device on the Galil. 4 AKs around him, not the best of buys, but certainly not the worst. We'll see MSL positioned towards long this time and might get a challenge, but they're actually focusing towards middle. The smokes have been deployed to take vision away from the bathrooms. They're going to clear out connector first. It looks like a B split is where they'll end up.
Certainly looking that way right now as they make a move down connector. North, again, no presence here.
But they have been struggling with the wallbang attempts there, but they go back. Kiabi is going to line 2 of them up. Can he get the 3rd? Not quite, but the bomb gets dropped. Some indecisiveness there from Astralis. Like I said, the B split was looking very likely. They come back towards middle. Kiabi's there, ready and waiting to spray 2 of them down.
Indecision, not something they struggle with too often under Glaive's leadership. And now Velda lining up the grenade, not going to do too much, just chipping Dupree by 9. Does put them into consideration for the M4s now with the 1-taps coming into effect. And Velda, he's waited patiently at the back of B. He will be rewarded with 1. They need Nico, but Dupree and Zipex going to keep the dream alive with a 9-6 scoreline. Molly's flying all over the place being traded. There's a storm brewing for North. And they're going to be looking for a potential boost, or at least jumping up will be AZ to have a bit of information. And you can call that to MSL, who flicks across, but Zipex is going to trade him out. The health is favored towards AZ, but Zipex is a monster and just destroys him.
Oh my goodness, stunner. It must be electric in there right now.
Henry, I don't think the word electric does it justice. It is absolutely tense inside of the Globen right now. And in fact, it can't get much closer than that. And this pistol could change everything. We have a neck-and-neck race right now. We're on the cusp of crowning your champion here at the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters, and I have one man who has a prediction that we all need. Benjamin, who's winning this CORSAIR DreamHack Masters?
Astralis.
Not so sure that that was received like it should have been, but it doesn't matter. It's all up to the 10 players in the server and their coaches right now, and that is exactly what we are waiting on. Henry and Vince, do us the honor and take us into this last half.
We'll do our very best, Stunner, and you heard it from the horse's mouth himself. Apparently Astralis had got this one in the bag, Vince. It's going to be 9-6 in their favor. Amazing clutch there. We haven't seen much from Zipex in this particular series in terms of those 1v1s and clever play, but that certainly was a bit of a masterclass there towards the end. They take the moral victory at the very end of the half as North now swap over. They'll be on the T side. They've got P250s, 1 smoke, 3 flashbangs, and we'll see which way they're inclined. And as we reach the final half of the entire tournament here, it's been absolutely fantastic. So many different teams making a name for themselves, especially North. Can they go one step further and win the whole damn thing? Bowder seems to think so. He'll crack open the B side, but Glaver's here, and he'll stop the bomb going down.
This could determine so much as to how this very map, this very tournament goes. North have the advantage, haven't got the bomb planted just yet, and Mages is making moves, but Nico is going to stop him from having any further impact. Device not going to get it done either. Had a phenomenal second map, but has been crushed. And North pick up the second pistol. That is a huge lifeline they've jumped on top of.
Absolutely. It's the play from MSL, getting it done with the P250, a weapon that's also had a bit of a swan song at this particular event. It's been purchased almost every T-pistol. We started to see this trend develop a few months ago, but it seems like every team has opted for it now. Nice B-split coming in there, and North looking to tie things up. If they can get these next 2 rounds, which is likely, we'll find ourselves at a 9-9 game. We haven't really had a competitive, close affair in this best of 3 so far, Vince, but I feel like this one's going to go all the way. Dupree's got other ideas. He'll take down Kiabi. Lovely shot there with the Desert Eagle, and he falls back safely as well. He has no armor. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. He gets the one tap. Armor really wasn't a factor there, but maybe it was just then. Dupree will be taken down eventually by AZ.
Important for North to get that avenge kill quickly. Means the Astralis have to spread themselves thinly. 3 players on B. Device by himself on A. North still have 2 smokes and 3 flashes to play with. If positioned correctly, this round really should be going their way and clawing the gap to just the 1. MSL has been consistently brilliant for North over the duration of this tournament. 17 and 11. So many impact kills. Top fragging by 7 on his team.
Yes.
Only 3 behind Dupree, who's been a mammoth. This map, 35 seconds. Now, Astralis haven't rotated anyone away from B, so this is going to be a bit sketchy now. This could get brutal for North. If they walk out and take some deagles to the forehead, things could get really bad real quick, but MSL is putting down the pain with the MP7, switches to the P250, and he's just as good with that. Device, 1 on 3, not the AWP, but the scout. We know this guy has it within him to clutch rounds of this stature, but he's not feeling it right now. He wants to save it for the next round.
I think he might be right there. Impossible to win, especially with that smoke going down. He's trying to cause as much damage as he possibly could, but not going to be the case. He'll have to fall back, and yes, it was quite tantalizing there when we had the stack from Astralis ready to go. 3 players there, but North flushed them out with the smokes. The Molotovs managed to flash their way in effectively there. MSL with 1 kill, pulls at the P250 and eradicates risk. Device will not save the scout. Looks like we're going 9-9 because Astralis are now full eco. This one will go the distance, and we'll see both teams sweat it out and see who comes out on top to be your CORSAIR DreamHack Masters champions. We'll find out very soon who that will be. Could be either of these teams, both a map apiece. Looked great throughout the tournament. And Astralis now with just the pistols, 1 P250 purchase. That's going to be $300 into round number 18 for them.
Perfectly positioned to get us the map we're waiting for, Henry. The close one, the nail biter. Lots of damage, though. Fortunate it's just USPs here. MSL's down to 45. This would be a real heartbreak if North weren't able to convert and get us to 9-9. Early scares, but should be able to brush them off. Very passive plays. You can see AZ is waiting way back towards T-spawn. May find himself Zipex momentarily. He was toying with the idea of pushing up towards T-spawn now. Understandable that in rounds like this, many CT sides will try and play aggressive, especially on Overpass. There's a lot of opportunities to do just that. So they're systematically just cordoning off connector. They don't have anyone long just yet, but they feel comfortable enough not to worry about it so much. Dupree is going to join Zipex. And he does have the 1P250 that Henry mentioned just previously. Below 40 seconds to go. Now they're going to go in. MSL's going to claim the first kill. Zipex very fortunate to survive with 14 health there, but it really shouldn't matter a great deal. Surely one of them's going to check the side of the barrels. NiKo comes in. All too easy in the end.
Very simple procedure there, Vince. You're correct. It will be 9-9. We're all tied up here, ladies and gentlemen. Just what we want for this final map. A few more to go, and who will find double digits first? Device finally getting that confidence back to pick up the AWP once again. Haven't really seen him perform with that particular weapon in this third map. He looked excellent on train. World class once again. Took a bit of a bump in the road in the first half, and here we go. We'll have a look at the setup. Device this time holding towards middle, but not aggressively, just looking towards the playground area. It's a fast approach towards long here from North. Kiabi, NiKo, and MSL, and the bomb just knife out all the way. AZ trying to keep players towards this mid area so they can't fall back and find him. Not on this shot there from Device. Actually, Glaive that hits first, and now Device in a world of trouble, Vince. How does he survive this one? He's blind, and down he goes. Kiabi jumps around the corner, takes him down.
That flashbang absolutely destroyed him, neutralized him fully. Bomb's gonna get planted, that grenade bounces off the wall just above Zipex's head. And this round is already looking like it's gonna go the way of extinction for Astralis, with North regaining the lead. Glaive, though, has something to maybe say about that, but NiKo's caught him. We'll be taking him away. Magisk, Zipex, Dupree. Do they even go for this? No, is the answer that gets called out. So North will be taking the lead as we get on to the final stretch, the business end of this very tournament, the grand finals.
Wow.
And Magisk is going to get denied anything with that M4, but at least Apex holds on to his.
Everyone thought that Astralis were the lock-in for the victory on Overpass. They can certainly play the map. They're up 4-0 now, Vince, in the second half. They came in with a deficit of 96, but now they take the lead. They do strike first and find double digits. And Astralis, they've made a bit of a call here, a play. They're going to force buy around the two saved weapons they had. A scout, a UMP, and one spare M4 accompanies them. This could be very, very important. If North can win this round, which is looking likely considering the buys, they break down the money fully and start to get closer and closer to that trophy.
Two mollies expended for connector control. Zipex sprays, does so much damage, but he's dead.
Yeah.
A worthwhile trade for the terrorist overall. You can see, though, just himself did about 150 plus damage to Valda and MSL. Closer to 200. But already that really ruins Astralis' plans in this round.
It certainly does. Well, it certainly slows North as well. They have to have the Dupree tries to convert it. That was one of the low players, but only lands one bullet. And still desperately trying to make it happen. One of these stray shots would do it, but still 5 versus 3 now. Plenty of time remaining as NiKo starts to edge his way towards long. The players that are holding that position, that was Magisk Boy, have actually decided to fall back now. NiKo and Valda with the bomb. MSL will stay as the bait towards B. He might want to show his hand now and die, throw a flash in, try and pull someone in with him just as his teammates get ready to strike. Or go for the long backstab once his team fully commit to the plant.
Device is really trying to bait this out, but Kiabi's not falling for it. This isn't his first rodeo. And AZ laying down the law. Device is going to have to just back out.
MSL's coming in behind him, Vince. Device is not long for this world. Whatever happens there, it won't even be a factor. They lock him in, and 4 players survive for North there. Such a huge round for them. The loss bonus gets the maximum status for Astralis here. 11-9 down. They're averaging around $3,500 per player. This was the wall bang to kick things off. And MSL, this has got to be a career best tournament for him. I've never seen him play against these sort of names so consistently well with all disciplines of the game. He's so great with the rifles, the pistols, and the orb. Definitely in the conversation for MVP if North can close this one out.
Completely agree with you. And on top of that, of course, he's the IGL. He's calling the shots.
Yeah, indeed.
Leading by example. Kirby round the back. No chance Apex knew anything about that. It was flashbang. You could see his character holding his eyes, hoping for the best as the snowstorm descended. And Valda is there to shovel it away alongside Glaive. Bomb planted, round locked in. 3-round deficit now in favor of North, with Magisk just praying for the best. See if he can maybe take an AK away from North, but that is all that's on the table. Astralis, this next round is absolutely massive for them. They're going to get a full buy. If they lose it, North could just romp away for the victory.
They'll save whatever they can here, the CZ, the Deagle. But another clean sweep as North assertively break down the doors of the B bomb site. Just a few rounds away now, ladies and gentlemen. North, the fairy tale could come true. Coming into this as one of the teams that weren't even in the conversation for the playoffs, let alone the grand final, and now find themselves in a third map against the world's best team, and they have the advantage. They have the money, $13,000 on 2 players. AZ and Nico have money for days. Double orb setup. This did not work out for Astralis on Dust 2. We'll see if they can make it work here. It's the Device and Dupree trying to shut down. Relentless approach towards B here. Triple nades from North. Do they connect? They do not.
That is a swing and a miss. Appreciate the idea. Astralis will have that in the back of their minds going forward into the latter rounds. It's not going to help North out for this one at the very least. Connector control being attained, acquired. Dialing in to around 22. Magisk on long device watching from the back of A. Nobody present in bathrooms. So North, if they continue to just feel their way and probe out towards mid, they're going to get a lot of ground covered. This does build up a nice foundations, which they can pounce off. MSL decides that long is the correct decision to go for, and he's going to have the bomb with him.
Here we go, then the double orb setup. The last chance for Astralis to really sink their teeth into this second half. They're currently 6-0 down. Smokes deployed and Device plays in front of it, takes down Nico, but they know Magisk is down now there, and he's isolated. If they get the trade here, it could all fall apart, but he'll take one more. Flashbangs and support from his teammates been absolutely fantastic here. He'll go down the end, not before doing a little bit of damage there towards Kiabi. It's going to be AZ, though, making his way towards the side. 15 seconds remain here, Vince. If he can get his opening kill, there might be a chance of a plant.
Could be a Colossus. They spot the player on short. That's going to open up a gateway towards the site. Can they stop it on the cross? Yes, they can. Zimpex is there. There's not enough time to plant. And Astralis will, just about by the skin of their teeth, take their 10th round.
They absolutely will. AZ, if he had 5 more seconds there, could have made something of it. He comes in towards the B site. He feels like he takes down the only threat. That was by the sandbags. Great awareness by him to get that shot. But Zipex does everything he possibly can to win that round. That 1 kill guarantees it. It has to read 4 seconds at the top of your screens for the bomb to be planted successfully. As soon as it says 3, the bomb can't be planted anymore, and the CTs can hide and just let the Ts play themselves. Astralis with their first round on the board here in the second half. Still with the single orb. They've lost a second, but this has got such a reset potential, Vince. North still have 2 players and 5 digits, almost 3. If Astralis lose this and it's a clean sweep, it's 13-10, they're double eco territory. This round could suggest GG if North can do it.
Astralis will know just that. The tension builds. The pressure mounts. MSL, once again, going in first with the bomb. Supreme confidence in his own ability. And this is almost a carbon copy of the last round. coming out long together with the bomb. Last time Magisk was able to get a trade. Some beautiful counter flashing by Device. He is going to get smoked out. Oh, that was so close.
Not quite connecting though, Vince. Time ticking away again. Astralis seem more comfortable now the AWP is out. It's 6-1 in the second half. Remember that reset. So much pressure on this particular round for Astralis. What can they do with it? So far, so good. They're running the clock down. It's still a 5-on-5.
Well, it really is going the same way as the last round, isn't it? 10 players left alive this time, and the entries will favor North Dupree. Coiled like a viper, ready to strike, but it's going to get taken away from him by Device. They are holding the line just about. MSL needed to get that kill. Valda comes in with one of his own. The ball's been planted as well, and Valda could be clutching this. Knows where Magisk is, but Magisk is going to clutch. He holds his nerve, holds the round, and could hold Astralis in this tournament.
That's absolutely insane. It felt like Valda had that one, Vince. He hits 2 sensational shots. But Magisk manages to come through. Remember, though, only 1 player survives again for Astralis. Still not out of the woods just yet. Yes, there's 2 rounds in a row, but they've been very expensive one. Magisk can't find the AWP. We go into round number 24. Scoreline 12-11. Still in favor of North. They have so much money still. MSL calls it a timeout, and that was the shot I thought. He's not missing anymore. He ain't messing around now. He's looking for that third. But Magisk hits the shot and manages to keep the dream somewhat alive for Astralis here. Still so much work to do. They need a couple of convincing rounds to get anywhere near breaking the finances of North. What a great game. We did say the third had to deliver here. We've had 2 one-sided affairs, but this is exactly what you want in the grand final, and this is what we'll all remember. Astralis on the ropes. UMPs are coming out. They've just won the round. They've got 2 SMGs. They still haven't bought a third weapon. This is absolutely everything for them, and that's why the timeout is so important for both teams here. North need to dissect their opposition setup. What will they bring to the table? Final buy comes in, the saved AK, 2 M4s, 2 UMPs. They have kits and utility, but is this enough?
Priority on the utility really gives you an insight as to how important Astralis want to hold off and stall these pushes for as long as possible. Xyp9x going to use the SMG up close, but the SKB, one flash, decimating him. In doing so, could this be the side going the way of North? Could this be the reset? In effect, Dupree is going to try his best to stop that, but Easy, he has an AK, and he has that CORSAIR on his head. MSL comes in with 1, and Device and Magisk has to walk over the rubble of B.
This is looking fantastic, but they haven't accounted for the ramp. Is this enough from Magisk? He has to deliver here. He has to try and bring this round in their favor. Good grenade, it takes down MSL, but the bomb has been planted. He's still waiting for his teammates to arrive. All of a sudden, this does look possible.
Improbable, but it is. On the table still for Device. And his tag team partner's gone down, and Easy is going to get North to a 13-11 score. And Astralis are flat out broke.
They absolutely are. 2 rounds away from championship point. And Astralis are force buying with $2,000. Scout, CZ, Adeagle, Armor. They are going all in, ladies and gentlemen. They've got to believe here. They lose this round, they're 14-11 down, and that's it. It's going to be over. It will give at least championship point to North. Glaive, very aggressive towards shore, finds no one, but he gets a ton of information here. AZ defensive position all the way back in spawn. They're aware of the prospect of that. They have to fall back, knowing they can now stack the A side with this little bit of intel they've gathered. It will be a long push from North. They're going to execute fully with everything they've got. Xyp9x, Dupree, and Device are aware of this, and Device has the scout. They're going in quickly. Could this be to their detriment? They're taking damage here, Vince. It's not a foregone conclusion that they win this round.
Smoked Molotovs, the kitchen sink being tossed in towards A, and Kirby trying to see if maybe can land something through the smoke, and he has done just that. But Xyp9x, who else in clutch situations, stands tall, delivers 2 CZ frags, and forces North back.
Oh my God, Valda from nowhere somehow gets 2 more through the smoke. Magisk Now of it all to do. Remember what I said, they force bought here. They've got first, they've lost bonus right now. They'll have second when they eventually lose this round. That means it'll be 14-11, and every player on the Astralis side will have $1,900. Do they force buy again? Do they take the eco and allow championship points to come in and try and grind out 4 rounds? That's pretty much the only way I can see it going. Mages finds the AK, and he has no choice but to save that, surely. He cannot justify going for this retake. It would just be an absolute blunder of a decision here. He can't win this round, but he can drop next. He can drop the CZ. He can have the smoke. He'll have a little bit of cash, but he needs to hold on to this rifle here.
He really does. I'm hoping that he's not setting up for some kind of prolonged retake onto the site, but as you say, without a kit, surely it's not possible. So C-Dead, AK, Magisk must be so frustrated. He hasn't had the level of impact that you'd want for Astralis. Dupree's been the main man. MSL 24-15. This guy continues to deliver in Stockholm. And I think it's safe to say, Henry, he has came back stronger.
I think you're absolutely correct. The meme has been realized. It was the plan all along. He was just waiting for the opportunity, the right tournament, just before the major to
what a time,
step
right?
up. Yeah, what a time to start looking decent. That's amazing. 14-11, they're on the precipice now of taking everything here at the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters. They are looking so good. Who would have thought? Of all the maps, Vince, Overpass. They currently have an 8-2 lead on the T side here. One more for championship point, and Astralis have force ball. They've spent pretty much everything they've got here. Scouts, UMPs, CZs, last chance saloon. As the unpause comes through, North can almost taste the victory. It's been so long since this group of players has won a tournament. I think it was Epicenter in 2016 was the last time they lifted a trophy. But for now, Astralis will do whatever they can to deny him. AK for Mages. A couple of CZs and a B rush from Nico and co. In they go.
Flash is solid though. And the damage on top of Nico is going to leave a mark, but he's still able to deliver. Dupree with a CZ going to use the smoke. See if he can maybe stay alive a while longer. Glaive with that UMP is going to lay down MSL, and the bomb's gone with him. This actually, it could be quite interesting for Dupree, but there goes more. The pulse is dwindling. Astralis need a shock to the system.
They keep force buying Vince. They now need to hold on for 4 rounds in a row. Astralis being bested by their rival countrymen here. North have them on the ropes. One more haymaker blow will do it. Up against CZs and 1 UMP. Surely this is the final round. North can taste it. They go for the B-rush again. MSL got balls of steel. He's sending everyone in with the B-rush. This could be it.
It's the final charge, the final play potentially, but Glaive with his CZ, he's going to hold on. But here come the entries. MSL, Nico, Valder, all of them chipping in. And it's all on Mages. 1 on 3. Is this the moment when North take them down? It's looking almost impossible. Valder's just going to bide his time and wait. Mages on the prowl. Oh, spins around on a pivot, lands the headshot. But there's MSL! North have done it!
Who would have thought coming into this tournament? This group of unlikely lads going toe to toe with the world's best in the grand final. That's the storyline in itself. But North have done it in a 3-map grueling affair. They take them down. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe I'm saying this, but they've done it. They've taken them down. They'll shake their hands, and you've got to feel for Astralis. Absolutely sensational game there towards the end. It opened up with a 16-1 stomping. They then received equal treatment in the second, but in the third they showed they're an excellent squad, and they are going to be competitive in the world going forward. Amazing scenes here. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you your champions of DreamHack Masters Stockholm 2018. Make some noise for North!
could do it in the group stage against Astralis, and nobody gave you that idea here. MSL, my goodness, what do you have to say for yourself and your team?
I'm speechless. I'm so proud of the guys and how we have played this tournament, and even when we got really far behind, we kept going, and yeah, we just have a really good team spirit, and we have worked hard, so I'm so happy it paid off.
You go from 16 wanting this team to being brought to the ropes. It was a tit-for-tat fight. It was a Danish derby for everything that it is. My goodness, you've done it today for Denmark. You've done it today for North. Oh my God, tell me how you feel, man. You look overbearing. You look like you've taken a turn.
Yeah, I'm so close to crying, so I don't know.
Let it out, man.
I'm just so happy. It's insane. Yeah, no words.
No words. Let's move it on. Nico, how do you feel? You're the champion of the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters Stockholm 2018, buddy.
I'm feeling thank you.
Feeling thank you. That counts for something. Can you address this crowd?
What?
Address the crowd.
Just what?
Talk to the crowd.
Thanks for the support, guys.
Make some noise for your DreamHack Masters Stockholm champions, North!
Against all the odds, against ex-teammates, against your domestic rivals, your Danish rivals, North prevail and are your CORSAIR DreamHack Masters Stockholm champions. Outrageous! What a fairy tale for MSL and his ragtag squad. Nico, he joins the roster first LAN, and look at that trophy. Against the world's best team. It must be quite a spectacular feeling.
The princes of Danish Counter-Strike have just decapitated the king, the world #1, bleed once more, and it must feel so good for MSL, twice in the same tournament, beating that core of Zipnix, Dupree and Device, toppling them, showing them what hard work can do.
And it's not a normal series, Jacob. They 16-1 the world's best team, then lose their map, then we go to Overpass. This was a series that doesn't add up.
Doesn't make sense, Alex, does it? I mean,
outrageous.
Outrageous. Even MSL was the top fucking guy in the last map, you know, that's not something you see often.
Top fragger.
Especially not when you're going up against the best team in the world. Astralis, I mean, they may not come in great shape, in the best shape, but they're still a comfortable team, you know, they're still the best in the world. And for North to take them down in not only one best of 3 series, but 2 throughout the tournament, that's just amazing.
Kirby, obviously, he turned their back on Astralis at the start of the year. It's been a long grind for him. It's been hard work. And finally, he's toppled them. He's won a big trophy. He's done it. He's done what he set out to do. And none of us believed. There was some tough times for North, some tough times for Kirby, but to be able to do what he set out to accomplish is huge.
Big stuff from North. You know, there's a lot of backbones behind that. They also have taken the steps towards infrastructure in the same way Astralis have. They have the support of the coach. They have the support of the psychologist. They have everything in between, and they have managed to do what many thought impossible. A huge victory for North here in Stockholm, Sweden, and all it does is just add another team to the list of hard hitters coming into what's going to be a very busy Counter-Strike month.
Yeah, the major coming up now. We have North, you know, a team that potentially could go up against Astralis, could go up against a Navi in shape, could go up against MIBI and win it, right? So another team in the mix of a lot of Danish teams as well. You know, Uptick, we didn't see the best of them here, but cementing themselves at least the second best team in Denmark and one of the top teams in the world.
Yeah, North have shown themselves as a legitimate contender here. You have to think about the amount of maps they had to beat Astralis on. In these 2 series, obviously during the group stage, 3 completely different maps to what we're seeing here in the grand final. That shows testament to the depth of the map pool, the preparation that these guys put in, and just how good individually these youngsters can be.
Add to that, they beat the #1 team in the world twice. They beat Navi, who's the second best team in the world. They beat Mousebox, who's currently ranked #4 and #5 in the world, right? They beat all the best teams at the tournament, and they did it in style.
Yeah, incredible. And I mean, with a new roster change, I don't think we're talking about that enough. They do change their roster. They are a team that struggled to get through those playoffs, or even struggled sometimes with the group stages. You swap out a player and it seems to be a winning formula. They talk about this kind of family. They talk about this brotherhood, and it does seem to certainly be paying off at least here.
See, I don't want to be the guy that says this, but I'm going to say it anyway. There's a thing called honeymoon within Counter-Strike players, and I'm not going to take...
Let them get off the stage before you stop.
There's nothing to take away from this North performance, but there is something to be said about having a new player into your team, having that new motivation, having that new hunger, and especially for a guy like MSL, who all of a sudden has to play a complete new role as well. He seemed very motivated, very driven throughout this tournament, so it's going to be highly important for North to keep that momentum driving. Otherwise, they're not going to be a contender, right? So North have shown they have the potential now. Question is, can they maintain it?
Well, that's the key for me. It's not necessarily the new player coming in and being a star within his own right. It's what it's done to MSL. Now, sure, on the AWP, it's not something we normally expect to see, but the way that he played it as a utility, following in the footsteps of what Liquid have done in recent times, they're showing that 5 riflers can work, and using an AWPer merely in a position where he knows he can be, just used as a utility.
Yeah.
It works. It's a formula that works. So props to him. I think it's... I'm going to say this, in terms of this map, if you get rid of the first 2 maps, they're both blowouts, they're both dominated. There was 2 people in that final going toe-to-toe. It was Dupree and it was MSL. And I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be saying that I would say that MSL was the MVP of that grand final. Without the performance that he put in on Overpass, North wouldn't have won this game.
Yeah, and I mean, he actually ends for all 3 maps combined at the top of the scoreboard as well for North. The leader, and often criticized for his fragging capacity, is never judged for his leadership, often very much praised for that, but often it was the caveat of, yes, he's great, but... I mean, this highlight reel will feature an awful lot of him, as we will recap all the way back to Dust 2, bearing in mind that was a 16-1. A 16-1 victory versus Astralis on a map that many consider volatile. But 16-1, it doesn't get much more volatile than that.
And trust me, it feels so good for MSL doing this, not only against Astralis, but also against Glaive, who is a caller that he learned from. When we played together 4 years ago in Western Wolves, Glaive was the caller for our team. MSL was the guy being the supportive guy on the team. So everything MSL learned in regards to calling, it comes from Glaive, right? So he's able to be this master in a way, and I think that's a kind of cool storyline to just bring in there, especially when you think about what you criticize MSL for not being the biggest fragger, right? You don't criticize Glaive for that. He's a decent fragger.
Yeah.
He knows his leadership.
That's
so
insane.
I think it's cool to see him still stepping up that level extra now to go toe-to-toe with a guy like Glaive.
Big stat for Nico. Now bear in mind, you can see his frags aren't necessarily at the tippy top of the scoreboard, but still, in that series, he still leads in entry kills. This new blood was putting himself on the line and trying to find a way in. It's not all about the numbers.
That's impact that can't be questioned, right? Obviously, there's the conversion, there's a couple of little bits and pieces that go with those opening frags, but even if he's getting 13, he's putting his team in the right position to close out rounds. So fantastic from him, and I think, as this team finds their feet even more so, he's going to have a home because he is just a solid player. That's what he became towards the end of his tenure in Heroic. Not necessarily a star, but a player who steps up when he needs to and does the roles that he's given.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have awesome opportunity right here, right now as well, where we get a chance to actually talk to one of the victors. I'm sure we've got a very happy Valda standing on that stage. Dude, you are the champions of the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters Stockholm. How's it feel?
It feels totally unreal right now. Yeah, we can't believe it.
Still processing that information?
Yeah.
Now, we heard, at times throughout your group stage wins and, of course, through the playoffs, that there was a lot of hard work coming into this one. Does this just kind of feel like that hard work is justified? Can you explain as to, how much work has been put in?
No, not really. I don't think we even expected to be this good, and I don't think we could have had a tougher run, to be honest, than we did. So right now it just feels absolutely magical. Yeah, and it looked magical as well. First things first, let's focus on that series, on that final. Dust 2. The first half ends 14-1. What's the halftime conversation? Are you just kind of confused? Are you enjoying yourselves? Is it all giggles? What's happening in the booth? I don't know. I just think we were like, nice pick, Astralis.
Oh! It seemed that way. Obviously, that Mousebots game was an enigma. You're not going to lose many games like that, 16-0. It's not going to happen again, and that was one of the thoughts that we definitely had over here. It was going to be more of a competitive matchup. But to blow them out of the water in that regard, you guys obviously had a lot of preparation on that map. I want to flick forward to Train. Yesterday on Train, you guys had so many little moves. There was the pop flash low ramp they do for you so you can pick up. This time round, it didn't feel like you guys were clicking on that. Do you think you were trying to chase Astralis around too much and not play your own game?
Partly. I would say a big part of the reason why we lost was the money control. Astralis had it all the way, and we made some crucial mistakes in the key rounds that just made us lose control of the half. And yeah, I guess you also have to give some credit to Astralis because they're an amazing team, and you can't really expect to get like easy maps against them. So even when we won Dust 2, we still knew we had a huge task in front of us. So yeah, it was one map at a time.
Moving on to Overpass, there was one particular guy who had a decent game, and he's called MSL. Can you talk to us a little bit about what is it MSL does now for the team now that he's supposedly the primary MVP?
Yeah, he is. I think he brings a lot of stability because we know where we have him, and he's really good at communicating. So I think our team play has improved greatly since he became the AWPer, and I think it showed throughout the tournament.
So he's going to be your new primary AWPer for a long one?
Yes, at least for the foreseeable future.
Well, before we let you go, Valda, I do have the great honor of letting you know that actually you've been crowned MVP of the tournament presented by Hacks. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, you've got some time to go and process this win now, but you had a fantastic tournament yourself. What's next for you guys while we just praise you for your incredible performance?
Sorry, can you repeat? I just got a trophy in my hands.
Oh, even better. Well, congratulations on that. I was just asking you, what's next for North? Are you guys going to take some time? You're going to start preparing for that major?
I think we're traveling to London straight after this, actually, so we're not going to have any days to relax, basically. So, yeah, it's going to be straight for the major, and we're going for that trophy as well. All right, well, the grind never stops. We're going to take a look at some of your best frags, Valda. I'm going to let you go celebrate with your team. Thank you. It's a fantastic performance, it really was. And actually, it was a real toss-up. Like, when you're taking a look at the stats, I mean, you guys were a part of that conversation. Valda, even AZ actually had a very slightly higher rating than him.
There's just a couple of things you have to look out throughout the tournament, and he was just solid throughout, right? It wasn't necessarily blowing us away by dominating individually in all the matches. When they beat Astralis earlier in the tournament, it was AZ head and shoulders above the rest, but it was all the games across the board for the North guys where Valda was just that consistent rock, and that's what you need. You need a player that you can rely on, and he's that guy.
You don't often praise consistency, right? But Valda is Mr. Consistency, at least within Denmark. I think he's shown time and time again now, ever since he moved from Heroic to North, that he's going to be a rock-solid player you can always count on. And I think sometimes that deserves to be rewarded.
And I want to say it one more time, just in case the viewers at home missed it. My MVP for the final 100% was MSL. Without that performance, I couldn't see North taking that victory.
While leading them.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's huge. You know, he definitely deserves all the praise he's going to get for this one because this is a massive victory. Yeah,
no, I couldn't agree anymore. And just I want to round everything out as we do kind of take a step back and take stock of lessons learned here after our grand final and after, of course, those semis as well. I can't help but feel this is only going to get more competitive. I feel like Stockholm has told us and taught us that Counter-Strike's wide open. You know, we've got a top 10 where everything matches up a little differently. There's no guarantees. Astralis were the guarantee. We had it for a bit, Jacob, and that's been taken away.
And that's what a player break does to you. Like, there's some teams who come out stronger, there's some teams who come out a little slower, and there's some teams that are going to crumble under the fact that they had a player break, right?
Sure.
It's a weird scenario, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on within a player break. We may even see some roster changes coming in pretty soon as well. So a lot of stuff is going on behind the scene, and it's just great to see that a team like North, who's been working hard coming into a tournament like DreamHack, Master Stockholm, who's now going straight to the major and trying to qualify for the major stages at the major, it's great to see that being rewarded. So I think there's a lot of prospects. We also talked about it yesterday, you know, Fnatic not being able to do anything at this tournament. That's not a great sign going into a major. So a lot of prospects up in there, and you know, the next major is going to tell us what to look at, Alex.
So very much. I'll tell you what you guys can look at right now, and that is your top 5 plays of the tournament. Let's go ahead and take stock of what we saw. And day 2, well, number 5, we had Tarek, and this was such a spicy way to end a map.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate that they had to match up against Astralis in the quarterfinals there, but MIBR are back with a vengeance, and they're looking hotter than ever, and plays like this from Tarek are definitely steps in the right direction to getting them to the victories.
Couldn't agree anymore. It's very, very cocky to see him grab that AWP in a 1v2. Didn't stop him from doing it with style and doing it with class as well. Up at number 4, it was day 3 when Glaive pulled off this spicy little 5k in, I believe, is a game versus Tyloo.
Elimination match, yeah.
The game against Tyloo, yeah. Glaive once again showing what you can use your smokes to, and Glaive is not necessarily the best aimer, but he got the brain in the right place, and that's what he's showing right here. That aim not always gives you frags, but brain certainly does.
Number 3, it was Yugi. No. Yeah, you remember this one.
This shot right here, this is either something he knew from practice or he's pre-firing for lower dark, but getting 2 bullets, 2 headshots, and then following it up with a nice little attack onto A and 2 more. Doesn't feel much better than that, than getting 2 free kills, basically. This is where you look at your teammates and go, well, I don't know what happened, but win the round, boys.
And he did. He actually picked up the last 2 as well to round it out. Up at number 2, it's Forest with this rather spectacular clutch. This was some vintage Forest if ever I've seen.
And that's if you combine the brain with the aim. Forest absolutely manhandling Astralis right here. It was a great play, and he was basically the only player holding Nip into that match at that point, you know. So without that clutch right here, it would have been looking way worse for NIP.
Yeah, number one, you're going to get tired of seeing it. I certainly won't, though. This was gorgeous from Nico on the 4th day, a 5K in the pistol round, a complete and perfect ace, and it is just gorgeous. So this is the crosshair placement you guys were telling me about, and the more I watch it, the more beautiful it is.
So crisp, the anticipation. A player like Nico is looking like he's in the Matrix sometimes, and this is one of those rounds where it's unbelievable. You don't expect to see this stuff at this level against an opponent like Mousespawns.
Yeah, truly one of a kind.
I think, you know, maybe the instability coming out of a player break has given us a lot more crazy clutch rounds that we normally don't get to see in these kind of environments. It's more cleaner Counter-Strike with trading. Here, there were so many highlights. Reddit's full with it at the moment, and it was definitely one to remember.
Yeah, players from that break tend to hit a bit harder. Who knew people need time off? We'll learn that lesson at some point. For now, though, we are going to go ahead and say goodbye. It's another tournament in the books, and a fantastic one at that. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure sharing this desk with you, and thank you to you guys at home for enjoying this adventure with us. Your champions, of course, their DreamHack Masters Stockholm are North. I've been your host, Machine, and your sponsors that made this all possible are CORSAIR, Monster Energy, Asus ROG, Hacks, and Fortum. That's enough from us. We'll see you next time for more fantastic Counter-Strike.